Hello, lovelies. Cory here, and welcome to day 20 of the 31 Days of Tarot Challenge. Today, we're going to be talking about the one tarot myth that you used to believe and why you don't believe it anymore. This one is a really tough prompt for me, you guys. And that's because when I started on my tarot journey, I really didn't have a lot of exposure to any of, the so-called myths that used to float out there, that I think even to some degree still kind of float out there. I was never exposed to them. So I didn't have anything to unravel throughout my tarot practice. I just kind of did what felt right. I will tell you that I was confronted with a lot of tarot myths that I ended up unraveling. One in particular, I'll share a story with you. I have two nephews who are adults, and the oldest one has a really good friend of his that is the same age, and I kind of have adopted as like a third nephew. And my oldest nephew and his friend came over to the house, and I've been coaching them through a few things on their spiritual journey over the years. And this was a few years ago that this occurred. And both boys came over, and we were talking about tarot. First, we were talking about runes because my nephew wanted to learn the Elder Furic alphabet. But then the topic of conversation moved over into tarot because I'm a tarot reader. And I asked both boys, well, have you picked up a tarot deck? Have you purchased one to try out? And they both looked at each other and looked at me, and they were like, well, we were told that you have to be gifted one and kind of invited into the community. And I was like, who the fuck told you that? I had never heard that before. It was the first time I was exposed to that. And I was like, I've been reading tarot for over a decade, boys. I don't know what y'all are talking about. And I said, but you know what? If that's what's been holding you back, I have a crap ton of tarot decks in my collection. And I actually had them sift through a couple that had just been kind of sitting on my shelf and not being used. My nephew ended up taking the Lord of the Rings tarot deck, and his buddy, my adopted nephew, if you will, ended up taking the very first tarot deck that I ever got, which was the Celtic Dragon Tarot by DJ Conway. I have not repurchased that deck. I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's with him. It's moved on. We cleared the energy. Both boys have been working with those decks, and they really enjoy them. And, that was, even though we kind of like placated that myth, I was very happy to debunk that for them. I was like, if you want a tarot deck, you go out and you get one. Like, don't wait around for somebody in the tarot community to invite you in. Just freaking walk in. Come on in, guys. It's a big old house party. You don't need a written invitation. And I guess that's kind of the biggest tarot myth within the community that kind of like I was confronted by, because I was like, man, boys, I have known you since you were small. Had you not come and like talk to me about this, I would have debunked that myth years ago. But as it is, I feel like tarot enters our lives when we're ready for it. And at that moment in time, they were ready for it. I guess for me personally, if I were to say that there was something that I used to believe about the tarot and I don't anymore, a lot of it has to do with belief in my own reading abilities. For the longest time, Even though I read for others, I felt like I wasn't experienced enough, or that I didn't know enough to be able to charge for the service that I was providing, because I didn't read in a store, or, I didn't have like all of the possible potential meanings of a card memorized, as I was going through my practice. Even though I had been reading for a number of years, for myself personally, for others, for family members, for friends, even for complete strangers in certain situations, it was like I was downplaying what I was offering people. And even now, I feel like there's still a stigma attached to it in the spiritual community. We're all dealing every day sometimes with folks who, for whatever reason, don't feel that the service that we're providing is worth paying for, which is very sad and disappointing from a societal perspective. Any other profession, if you were to ask somebody to do something, there would be an expectation of compensation behind it. If I come to somebody and I ask them to put in time for me to design a logo, or if I ask them to help me prepare my resume, if I ask somebody to help me prepare my taxes, there is an expectation that with services rendered, there will be payment. There is this exchange of energy that takes place with every other service. But for whatever reason, there's a big hang up within our community, not just with regards to tarot readings and tarot services. I'm talking also about pendulum readings, Reiki sessions, spiritual guidance, spiritual coaching. I'm dealing with every day folks coming up to me going, and you're going to charge me for that? Well, yeah, I am providing you with a service you wouldn't otherwise be able to do on your own. And you're expecting me to give you my time and energy for free because this is a spiritually related service. That doesn't make any sense to me. I poured in a lot of time and effort into training and developing skills to be able to do this service. Why don't I deserve to be compensated? And for a long time, I even bought into that. And it's taken me a long time to unravel that myth for me. And if any of you guys that are watching this video are in the same boat and you have felt like you were somehow unworthy of charging for your services and the use of your skills, I'm here to tell you, you have permission to charge. Don't let the random onesie-twosies people out there that just like to get everything for free hold you back and make you feel like you're not worthy to have a fair exchange for the energy that you're putting out there, okay? It is not okay for anybody to make you feel that way. And I know a lot of us seem to be waiting for external permission. So this is it. Consider this your permission from the universe. The universe is telling you, go out and do that if you want to. If you have been sitting there waiting and thinking, should I start a tarot business? Yes, absolutely, you should. Don't feel like the market's too saturated. As I'd mentioned in previous videos, every tarot reader is completely different. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I am clear on that. I am clear that not everybody is going to enjoy or get as much out of a reading from me as, you know, my other clients. That is cool. That means that maybe you're the perfect reader for them. And you're kind of doing a disservice to society by not putting yourself out there, yo. So, just something to consider as we, you know, move forward through the year and we're feeling all of these energy shifts in 2018. If there is a myth about yourself, about your skills that you have long like clung onto, let it go. Release that. It does not serve your greatest good, and it is time to flush that all away. Don't buy into it anymore. You are deserving, and you have the skills that it takes. You have the talent, okay? You have the calling. If you didn't, you wouldn't be feeling what you're feeling right now in the pit of your stomach. For those of you that feel compelled to be doing this, like this is what you think about day in and day out, I know that feeling, you guys. Listen to it. It's talking to you for a reason. It's not going away for a reason. Okay? So stop buying into the myth. Believe in yourself and allow yourself to, you know, take on that self-worth. Okay? That you are worthy to be doing this and doing it as a profession. And that's my big old rant for, for the entry of this video. I am sure that is not at all what Ethony intended for this prompt today. But you know what? That's where Spirit took me, and that's what we're going with. So we're going to put this one in the can, stop that record button, and upload it. And it is what it is. This is what we got for today. What about you guys, though? Is there any other traditional, like, tarot myths that you used to believe in that you were like, oh, shit, this isn't actually true? Like, that one that you're supposed to, like, keep all of your cards wrapped in silk because it protects the energy of the cards. What? I have a few stuffed bags up there, as you can see, but, like, most of them come in the boxes that they came in. And they're perfectly fine sitting in those boxes. It hasn't screwed up their energy at all to be in there and then pulled out and shuffled and have a reading done. So I don't know where that one came from. But anything similar to that, have you, you know, believed in it? Why? And what happened to kind of shift that mindset for you? Be interested to know. But that is it for this video, you guys. I have been rambling long enough, so we are going to wrap it up. I will see you in tomorrow's video. And until then, blessed be.